Hi YouTube, this is Zari Ballard. I'm just going to make a quick video today answering the question, does the narcissist miss me when we break up? I'm going to answer that question, so don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hi YouTube, Zari Ballard here. This is the When Love is Alive video blog podcast. Make sure you hit those buttons before we begin, the subscribe button and the notification bell, so you can be sure that you get notified every time I make a new video. So we want to know what the narc is thinking when we break up. Does he miss me? Does he think about me? We even obsess about it as if what the narc feels is going to change the outcome, as if it's going to offset all those horrible things that he did. Well, that's ridiculous. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why the narc, does he miss you? Yeah, not in the way that you think, okay? Not in the way that we miss them, that's for sure. And the reason for that is because the narc sees everything on the same emotional level. Meaning, you don't mean any more than the person who came before you or the person after you. He doesn't hate you. He just goes about his business. The narc compartmentalizes everything, meaning he's a compartment manager. That's what he does, and that's what he does good. He's really good at it. He puts you in one compartment, puts someone else in another compartment. He can have family in one compartment. He can have workers in another compartment, co-workers, friends, whatever. So does he miss you? No. Not the way that you'd like him to miss you. It doesn't mean that you're not missable. It doesn't mean that you're not worth missing. It doesn't mean any of that. All a narc does when it's over is in his mind he thinks, oh, he buys himself some time. So don't forget, when you guys separate, I don't care whether it's the 3rd time, whether it's the 10th time, whether it's the 100th time. It's never the last time. The only one who can make that distinction is you. That's the only one who can make it the final one. So you have to decide whether it's the last time and then make that change accordingly. Look, one of the things about narcissism is that every narcissistic behavior connects seamlessly to the next one. Meaning, when you ask yourself, does he miss me? The answer is, not really. Because he sees everybody on the same emotional level. How does he do that? Because he compartmentalizes everything. The fact that he compartmentalizes everything is one of the reasons that he's very good at being a narcissist. And you have to learn how to connect the dots. Once you see that every behavior connects to the next one, then you realize that the fact that you've broken up isn't any different than any other time. His feelings about you haven't changed, whatever those feelings may be. And a lot of that depends on whether or not you've become the fallback girl. What a narc does miss, I would say, is familiarity. Okay? A narc enjoys, every once in a while, the fact that you accept him for exactly as he is, that you know all his rough edges, that you know that you love him even though he's a bad dude. He likes that. And then when you do that, when you accept him for who he is, then things chill out. They become normal. And that's usually when he leaves, because he can only take the familiarity. He can only take normalcy for so long. Narcs are not good at doing normal. No one likes to think that the person that they've spent a great deal of time with doesn't miss them when they're apart. Even in the most normal of even dysfunctional relationships, there's a period after the breakup where there's kind of like an adjustment, where maybe you see each other for here and there, or you say your goodbyes, or you have sex one more time, or whatever it is that you do. But then it's over. Now with the narc, he's been adjusting the entire time. So with him, it's perfectly normal. It's normal to be in a breakup. It's another way. It's just another tactic in the relationship. What he does is he freezes you in limbo land so that you're sitting around, hunkering down under the covers and being sad and crying and wondering what he's doing and where he's going and who he's with. But he's just going about his business. It's no big deal. Mine would show up and say, hey, where you been? I don't even remember where I'm gone. I swear to God, he used to say that. Whether or not the narcissist misses us is without a doubt, it's the number one question that I get during consultations. People just want to know. And what changed it for me is this, and you need to remember this. Our suffering doesn't change anything. And you've probably heard me say that before. But our suffering doesn't change anything. So during the time that the narc is gone, you can choose. Will you suffer during that time? Or will you just get on with your life? I'm not saying you have to be dancing up and down, but don't suffer. Because what he does at the end, whether or not he comes back, there's nothing you can do about that. But you can get your shit together while he's gone. And look, it was easier for me when I thought about it in the very, very end, that the reason that he didn't think about me anymore than he didn't care about me any more than he cared about anybody else. And that's why he treated me that way. When I grasped that, I was like, oh, I get it. Okay. It was easier for me to think that way than it was to think that, oh, he loved me and he did that to me anyway. That's not what happened. And if you need to change your perspective about it, it's not easy to do at first, but once you do it, it changes everything. And you might try to see it my way, because it just works. It gets into the psyche. It lets you get past the cognitive dissonance. It lets you accept the reality of it. It lets you move forward, and you don't have to suffer in between. I just want to get you in the habit of thinking about changing your perspective every time you get that twinge, that feeling like, oh, you don't know what's going on, because you really do know what's going on. You know, I'm no smarter than you, and the only reason I know what they're thinking isn't because I'm psychic, it's because they're predictable. Connect the dots from one behavior to another, and you'll be able to work it out. And remember, your suffering doesn't change a thing. So you can choose not to suffer in the interim without knowing the outcome. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing's changed. It's nothing new under the sun, people. Nothing. So you can do it. Anyway, if you need to talk about it, you can always call me. I offer consultations. You can check that out on the website, and I'll put the link in the description below. My books are on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles, and I really care what happens to you. So leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll be sure to get back with you. Thank you. You have a great day. Bye. Hit those buttons.